Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone from wherever. Just want to thank you so much for finding time to join this virtual tour. I will be your moderator for this session. I'm Prudence Liha, currently the Energy Project Assistant at Practical Action and also the Energy Access and Clean Cooking Thematic Point for UNMGCY SDG 7 Youth Constituency. Yeah, so I'll just like to take this opportunity to welcome you again and to remind you that there's a option where you can drop a question or a, as we go by the session. Yeah, so the speaker for today is Henry Aiso from UNIDO, and I'll just like to introduce him because he's going to take the huge chunk of this session. He's going to focus on biomass energy, and that is specifically for Albania. He holds an MBA from the University of Westminster in London, UK, and also a BSc in business. Yeah. Henry is dealing with sustainable energy projects in the field of bioenergy, efficiency, and also matters for climate change. So I'll just like to take this opportunity and invite him to take us through the session. Mr. Haiso, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hi, Prudence. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining these site events. Thank you very much, Prudence, for your welcome and introduction. We'll discuss the project Biomass Energy in Albania. For this, allow me to share my screen. So I'll show you the presentation. Please confirm that you can see the slide. Is it okay? Prudence, please.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very
can
much.
See the slides.
Thank you. So let me start by giving you some background information on the project. The project is bioenergy for SMEs in the olive oil sector in Albania.
Sorry, just before you start,
Sorry?
Are you able to show it in a presentation mode so that it's clear?
Okay, one moment. So, okay. Is it okay right now?
Yeah, that's okay now. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So the project is bioenergy for small and medium enterprises in the olive oil. I don't know what is happening. Bioenergy for small and medium enterprises in the olive oil sector in Albania, funded by the Global Environment Facility and implemented by the United Nations Industrial Development Organization in collaboration with the government of Albania and other key partners, such as the Association of Olive Oil Producers, financing partners, etc., with the objective to introduce bioenergy technologies for the production of energy in the olive oil industry. Here is a short bio of the project. On the right-hand side, you can see a map of Albania with the olive plantations in the country, located mostly in the west part of Albania. The project identified more than 400 olive oil enterprises and engaged more than 250 enterprises in the initiatives to promote the use of bioenergy technologies through capacity building, financial instruments, and by strengthening the policy environment. Regarding the policy context, we worked mainly with the government, with different line ministries, And we reviewed several policy strategies, the legislation framework. The main guiding document is the National Strategy for Development and Integration, and the findings from the project are included in the new National Strategy 2021-2030. And we have proposed incentives to increase investments in renewable energy sources. As well, the strategy policy paper on National Waste Management Plan aims the transition from linear economy to circular economy, and all the findings have been discussed with the stakeholders in different consultations, and are included in these main policy documents. I don't. Okay, sorry. Okay. Several institutions, as I mentioned earlier, are the Ministry of Infrastructure and Energy, which is dealing on renewable energy and promoting biomass energy, the Ministry of Tourism and Environment, Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. We work especially for the financing mechanisms. The Ministry of Finance and Economy, the Agriculture and Rural Development Agency, the National Agency for Natural Resources, SMEs, NGOs, financial institutions. This is the list of the key partners of the project. We also engaged the academia in the project for their role in engaging youth. An achievement of the project was the development of the new curricula by integrating the renewable energy in different study programs. And as well, the findings of the project are presented in different exhibitions and academic papers throughout the country, but also in international events. Let me quickly jump into the project implementation. We started by a detailed assessment of the biomass potential in the country through analyzing the economic and market potential, identifying all the olive oil facilities, gathering data, organizing market surveys, and introducing the appropriate technologies. Together with the team, we designed different guidelines, criteria. We prepared business plans and energy assessments, feasibility studies as well, for 15 technologies and for 15 SMEs. Key project components are the financing instrument, the technology demonstration, which mainly the technologies are for the olive oil industry, such as boilers, dryers, pelletizers, briquetters. And at the same time, with the experts, we assisted the SMEs in providing financing, like with different banks, financial institutions in the country, as well as with technical installators. Another important component of the project was the capacity building and awareness raising activities. Several guidebooks and trainings were developed throughout the project with the support of UNIDO, as well as from the government sides. We, together with the government, we worked on policy recommendations to support the regulatory measures, as well as it was prepared a strategy for replication and scale-up So not the focus not to be just in the olive oil sector, but also in other sectors such as wineries, breweries, gem food production industries, etc. Key project achievements. The pilot, there are like 15 pilot projects installed in different SMEs in Albania, with an investment more than $5 million. There was a strong commitment from different partners to co-finance such technologies. And as well, the scale up to other industries. And regarding the capacity building activities, more than 200 individuals at the policy, industry, and finance level are trained with the aim to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Here are the project achievements in details, but I'm not going through all the details. 4 banks are involved, like mainly these are Albanian banks: Credin, Sintesa, ProCredit Bank. These are some of the technologies, but we will go into more details during the virtual tour and the videos that we will present on the way. Okay, I'm skipping this as well. Here are some seminars and workshops which are organized on the course of the project with different partners, where we discussed the findings and we received feedback and recommendations for the implementation of the project on the ground. So let me now start with the virtual tour, showcasing the project sites and technologies in selected SMEs. The technology that we are going to present now, that you can see in these slides, is recently implemented during the pandemic. It is a very interesting project pilot located in central west part of Albania. The company name is AFT. Is a company which is focused on the drying process and trade of biomass as solid fuel. The company collects olive pomace from different olive oil factories in the country, carrying on the drying of such biomass and then supplying the products to the market. As a result of UNIDO's interventions, AFT has seen a considerable increase in demand for biomass from chicken farms, greenhouses, milk factories, to heat their facilities through space heating applications with biomass. The company has increased, as you can see from this picture here. Here is the quantity. We can go to the next slide as well. I'll show you a video. Okay. So the company has increased the amount of wet olive pomace collected by providing a better logistics team and more transportation vehicles like these ones here. So here they are in a factory collecting the pomace, but the company needed upgraded drying technologies, as the process of drying had the most need for improvement in comparison to other processes, such as collecting, transporting, stocking, and packaging. like the picture on the right-hand side. So here are work people in the factory packing the dried pomace. So let me show you. During the year 2020, the company collected more than 9,000 tons of olive pomace from 100 enterprises in the country, olive oil factories in the country. So I'll show you a video so you can understand. This is the video in their facility, so you can understand the process of collecting the biomass. As you can see from this video, the pomace which is collected has, let me show you it here, it's wet and needs a better drying. Yeah, here you can see it's wet, and the company needed a drying technology in order to dry such biomass and sell it to the market. And the project supported UNIDO supported the company with the bale dryer technology. The investment was funded with the grant from UNIDO and Jeff, and a loan from Intesa San Paulo Bank, which collaborates with the project. So here I'll show you the drying process inside the factory. So by establishing themselves as a biomass selling business, AFT is helping formalize the olive byproduct treatments in the country. What was left out in the rain or thrown in the rivers now has gained a new value and is used as a solid fuel. This opens up a new chain in the biomass economy by creating more job opportunities, such as in the handling, collecting, storing, drying, and transport of biomass. Okay. Here are some other pilot projects implemented in some other small and medium enterprises in the country. The one up is located in Lunder, close to Tirana. The technology is a boiler, is an olive oil factory, and the picture here is a boiler in Lushnia region as well, in a greenhouse. But more, I will show you a video presentation, a movie which is produced in the framework of the project. So also the beneficiaries are featuring in the video and telling their experience on the project, on the new technologies, and on the benefits that they are having. So allow me to show you the video.
It's very important to the economy of Albania.
Most of the olive pomace before this UNIDO project was thrown on the land or in the river to spoil them and not utilize very important energy source.
Me ardhin e këtyre kaldajve, kemi parë suksese të mëdha në prodhimet tona.
In Albania, agriculture makes up 20% of gross domestic product. In this corner of southeastern Europe, the olive oil industry plays an important role in the agriculture sector. Modernising practices here can power future growth across the whole country, but it needs sustainable solutions. A new project is showing what can be done. Izzer Neja runs a farm in southern Albania. Here his family grows olives, tomatoes and courgettes and other vegetables in rotation. In the past, it used expensive diesel generators as power sources. Now, using a residue from olive oil production called pomace as an energy source, the farm can power this greenhouse whenever it wants, allowing it to grow vegetables and export produce to Germany all year round.
Ndryshimet e kaldajeve të para, me këto tani ndryshimet janë të jashtëzakonshme. Nuk mund ta krahasoj këtë bim me ato të para, me kaldajat e para. Por jo vetëm bim, si bim, po dhe prodhimi. I gjithë mallin unë e çoj në eksport. Në çdo kohë, në çdo muaj, edhe në janar, edhe në shkurt, sepse bima nuk tremet, nuk ftohet, nuk prishet.
Based on the outskirts of Albania's capital, Tirana, is Subashi, a producer of olive oil. Local farmers bring their produce here to be turned into olive oil. It's washed, crushed, and then separated. Subashi diverts its pomace waste to a biomass boiler in order to heat the water used in the crushing process. Any excess heat is used to heat the owner's house above the factory. She also sells excess pomace to businesses that make pellets to burn in biomass boilers. Owner Silvana sells her high-quality produce as well as other byproducts made from olive trees at a shop in central Tirana. As well as running this business, she's head of the Olive Oil Association. She says the biomass technology has clear benefits that are starting to become obvious to members.
Our saving, it is more than 60%. It is easy now for the people to understand that it is a good technology and it is a good things to save their money because they have it there, they can see all the procedure, they can see warm water, they can see the pomace, the dried pomace. If we explain without having anything, it was difficult, but now we have it there.
Izzer Neja's farm and Subashi are taking part in a pilot project run by UNIDO, the United Nations Industrial Development Organization. The project is supported by GEF, the Global Environment Facility, and the Government of Albania. It aims to demonstrate the technologies in 15 pilot projects. Participants receive subsidies towards the cost of new boilers and equipment, as well as technical assistance.
Until now, the enterprises were polluting the environment by placing the waste out of their factories. But now they can use this waste in their own facilities and generate heat and electricity for their own purposes.
I think that this technology is the technology of the future. It's not only for the moment. It's this stable technology that will be used for many years because bioenergy and renewable energy will be the main objective for different sectorial policy of Albanian government, for industry, for the environment, for agriculture, for transport, for everything. So this technology is fully in line with this national priority for the future.
UNIDO worked with several experts on bioenergy.
Most of our small oil factories have been using diesel or fuel wood, which is very deficitary and very high costly. So by substituting diesel with olive pomace, you do many things. First, you do not throw that energy source away. You do not pollush the environment. Second, you get energy source to heat your family. Third, you do not use diesel. All in all, in money terms, you as a farmer can save from 3,000 up to 10,000, depends on the amount of olive pomace you are using. 10,000 euro, very important amount of money to feed family the whole year.
The project is highlighting potential social benefits too. In the central Albanian city of Elbasan, Fabi is a company that collects sawdust and pomace. UNIDO subsidised the cost of new equipment, which Fabi uses to mix sawdust and pomace, thereby producing pellets with increased energy efficiency. Fabi now sells these pellets to local schools, kindergartens and hospitals so they can heat their buildings for lower costs. Scala is an olive oil producer based in a built-up area on the outskirts of Tirana. The owner used to have problems with neighbours because of the smell and smoke coming from her factory's old boiler. With UNIDO's assistance, she now has a new boiler and a separator. As with all the participants in this project, the difference is clear to see.
Atëherë me kaldajen e re që kemi marrë, ne kemi përfitime sepse kjo kaldaj është ndryshe nga të tjerat, ka një pajisje e cila quhet multiciklon dhe këtu kalojnë tymrat dhe dalin të filtruar në ambient, nuk e ndosin. Gjithashtu kaldaja përdoret me bërësit që dalin nga fabrika dhe fahen dhe futen këtu brenda, edhe kjo përdoret me bërësin. Dhe kështu që kjo është një cikël i mbyllur që më lehtëson punën.
There is a big potential to replicate these technologies to other sectors, such as wine production, breweries, jam fruit production. So also these enterprises can use their waste to generate heat in their respective facilities.
Everything that we are doing now, we consider as a good pilot project to multiply in the future by private investment, by other donors' investment in Albania.
I hope that you liked the video and the virtual tour. Actually, there are more project sites and technologies. So if you wish to view all of them, you can locate them here. 1 second, I'll share the screen.
Also share the link to the
Yes. We'll share the link, and in the Open Data platform, if you search for UNIDO Biomass project in Albania, you can have more information on the technologies, on the project sites, as well as the benefits and other topics that we have been discussed. For any questions, please, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Henry, for that presentation and the virtual tour. Indeed, we have been to Albania. I could take part of our seats. Much for that. Yeah, it's great just trying to look at some of the projects that are really trying to solve some of the issues that we have at a community level, trying to turn the waste to energy. Yeah, it's really amazing to see that. Yeah, so I think I will open it up for discussion for everyone who has an input or a comment that they'll like to share with everyone. I think as we wait for everyone to get ready, I think I'll just start off with a question to Henry in regards to the project. So I'll just I think I'll be interested to know how the project is engaging the youth, women, and people with disabilities and any other marginalized groups to ensure everyone is in the process.
Yeah, thank you, Prudence. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Erand. With Erand, Mr. Erandrica, we have been in a presentation also of the project here in Albania. with the government and other institutions on the project, and we have also discussed the integration of the wine factories for the project. Regarding your question, Prudence, as I mentioned during the presentation earlier, we as a team engaged academia in order to, since at the design phase of the project, but also during the project implementation, and we developed the university curricula and study programs. So these in turns engages youth, students and youth in these discussions. And since the project started and we started these conversations and communications and discussions, several master theses were produced from university students on bioenergy technologies and potential in the country in comparison to other developed countries which have a strong olive oil sector, such as Spain, Greece, or Italy. And we as UNIDO have been very happy to see these discussions coming from the universities and from youth. We have participated also in some classroom seminars, and this has been a good success of the project. Regarding women, women are involved in all activities of the project, in the preparatory meetings for gathering data and exchanging views. We have the head of the Association of Olive Oil, as you saw in the video, is a woman. And we have carefully considered all the issues to empower women and also the workforce in the olive oil enterprises. As well as we have collaborated with the governments in order to engage other marginalized groups, and the experts involved in the project are gender sensitized. So we have considered all these issues in order to better engage youth and women and other marginalized groups. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I think the next one is going to be a more interactive one where I'll just do a poll. Yes, so, and then I will wait for the responses, and from there, Mr. Henry, you can pick it up.
Okay.
Are we able to see the question?
I think I cannot, I can see just the screen.
On your far right, just after
okay,
chat.
Yes, now, yes.
Yeah. So it's simply asking, do you think biomass utilization for energy generation is directly linked to security? Yeah, so as I wait for the results, I think we can go with the question that is already in the chat from One. Hope pronounce your name correctly. Yeah. Mr. Henry, this is to you. Do you think modern technologies such as bioenergy makes agriculture attractive for young people?
Sorry, say it again, please. I couldn't hear. Sorry. Prudence?
Yeah, sure. Do you think modern technologies such as bioenergy makes agriculture attractive for young?
Yes, I think as I mentioned earlier, during the involvement with the students, we have seen a strong interest from the university on these issues, and I think that it is very relevant to include these discussions, and the young people and youth can be a driving force in developing such projects in the future. UNIDO's project is just a small pilot project showcasing some pilots, but more needs to be done in order to promote renewable energy technologies in the country. And by engaging youth, as well as the government, by integrating different policies at different levels and strategies, these can go forward. Thank you. I would also like to share that in Albania there is a brain drain, like not only in Albania but also in other Balkan countries, like young people or even people, individuals at the policy level, at the government and the public sector that have been trained during the project. These people tend to leave to other developed countries, and the brain drain is a factor that should be tackled and discussed in other interventions in the future. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. Hope, One, you're satisfied with that. Yes, so for those of us who are not able to access the poll, I have just dropped the question in. I've dropped the question in the chat, so if you're unable to access the poll, I think you can just drop your discussion down there in the chat. Yeah, so I'll just throw it back to Henry just to discuss it and see how the project that they're doing in Albania is trying to address the issue as well as the production of energy from biomass.
This can be addressed by integrating policies for energy and environment management, such as land use, water management, etc., particularly in developing countries and least developing countries where biomass use is prevalent. For example, in Albania, there is an increased recognition among the private sector and consumers on the importance of moving to circular economy and managing natural resources more sustainably. And I think that this integrated natural resources management approach can enhance food security, not only in Albania, but also in other developing or least developing countries. Thank you.
Thank you for that. With a question from the participants. Okay, I see our time is far much spent, so I think we'll go to the last bit of it as we conclude. Yeah, so just trying to look at the statistics. The World Bioenergy Study in 2017, bioenergy is being represented as 70% of the renewable energy consumption that we have at a worldwide scale. So to be able now to tap, it means a lot has to be done, starting from the policies supporting the financing and all that. Yeah, so just to try and learn from already been in the sector and have tried these, what do we think that there's that we need either the government or the development organizations to put in place for us like this agenda next level? I think you can start us off, Henry, as we wait for a response from the participants.
Thank you, Prudence. I think that engaging a large list of stakeholders, as I mentioned earlier, like from the government, private sector, financial institutions, international organizations, universities, and by working together can promote biomass utilization for energy purposes. Biomass technologies have the potential to stimulate bioeconomy and improve energy security by reducing dependency on import of fossil fuels. So I think that bioenergy could play an important role in promoting inclusive and sustainable industrial development, can create jobs and gender equality, and helping achieve the sustainable development goals. So the answer, the main, is that it is very important to engage and to work together with several institutions from the government and elsewhere. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, so I think we are coming to our close because so far I haven't any other response from the participants. So I think we will end it there and just go to the main stage where we're going to have the closing remarks. Yeah, so I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who has joined, and also thank you so much, Henry, for sharing such an insightful project that you're doing, and hope we are going to learn from it and see what you can be able to do at a local level. Yeah, so thank you so much, everyone, and